We've always talked about purchasing a property investment or even your dream home is the first big step in a person's life. Then selling it would be the second biggest.
Now in this video, we are going to share with you the process of selling your home. What's up everybody, welcome to BC, where we share about real estate, business and mindset. My name is Vincent.
And I'm Chloe. So selling your home, just looking to cash out or maybe to upgrade into a bigger or another location, for whatever reason it is, everyone is looking for the benefit of capital appreciation on their property and also basically to sell your home.
Yep, unless you're in a hurry to sell it off, don't mind it to be cheaper than the market value, since selling a home also included a big chunk of money, right? So it's important to go through the process truly to avoid any misunderstandings or last minute cancellation or even worse, all of the bills.
Yes, so the first step you gotta do when you want to sell your property is to value your property. Many people want to sell their property yet they're not sure what price they want to put out for.
Yep, we do have our previous clients who don't know what is the market value of his home, only worth probably like 700,000, yet he putting out in the market for like 900,000, which is way too far difference just because he thinks that his home is way worth that much.
Yes, exactly. So we would strongly suggest you to get an accurate idea of the value of your property. So you could engage a property agent to appoint a professional valuer, or if you know a valuer yourself, you could appoint them to value your property too, knowing how much your property is worth. However, do take note that certain charges will be applied for a property valuation, which is borne by the seller.
Now, getting a property valuation is also useful as it can help you to increase your chance to getting a house sold. Why? That's because when your buyer wants to purchase a property, then they will head to the bank and banks will provide a loan up to maximum 90% for a residential home based on the amount of the valuation and not agreed price between the seller and also the buyer.
Yep, so let's say if you decide to price your property above the market value, then the extra balance, your buyer will need to make up the difference of the amount with their own cash, which many people don't want to.
Now, another reason why we would suggest getting a professional valuation report of your property is because at the end of the day, when your buyer wants to take up a loan from a bank, most banks will require a valuation report from the seller. It's either you get it valued first or afterwards. The bank will have to get their valuer to value the property and the fee is still paid by the seller. In this case, if the value doesn't match with your price, the chance of your buyer cancelling this purchase is even higher as they need to pay the difference in cash.
Yes, exactly. If you're someone who's wanting to sell your property just because you think that capital appreciation is there and you want to cash out, you can research the price of the property by looking into property portals such as iProperty, Property Guru to check out those that are on sale too.
And also try to get your property agent to check if your area has any property sold recently, how much they were sold for, how long they were in the market before being sold. This could help you to indicate how much demand in your area.
What we usually would suggest too when setting up a price tag is to be prepared that a prospective buyer will always try to negotiate for a better deal for themselves, yet sellers always want the best too. So we find the middle point where both can agree on.
Don't forget that getting the right property agent is also important as well. You don't want to go through the process of hanging banners, dealing with 10 other property agents contacting you or 20 other calls from not qualified buyer even. We save you the hassle, and also it is important to know if the agent is specialist in that area. It doesn't make sense for a client agent to sell Shira's property. They can, but one has to know the market in that area as well.
Yes, the second step would be getting legal help because there will be certain legal procedures you need to go through, especially when it comes to the transfer of ownership. It's best to be prepared beforehand since you'll need professional help in drafting the necessary legal documents too. Further down, you will need a lawyer to draft out the sales and purchase agreement, your SPA, so you will definitely need to fork out some legal fees here, but it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Now, the first impression are one of the most important factors why your buyer will consider your property. So beautify your property, make it presentable, clean it at least, whether it is a photo for advertising or even a house visit viewing. So if you are taking photos, make sure you included the living areas, the rooms with good lightings, and open the curtains as well.
Yes, try to avoid clutters too. It's not necessary that you have to move out of that house for you to take these photos, but at least acknowledge that your property is actually nice. You could try to touch up some of the faulty, worn out items in that house or even give a fresh coat of paint.
We do have buyers who ask us why we suggest so, because in this market, many people are providing photos of their living room with a huge mess, bad lightings, or even damaged painted wall. Well, that's why their property stay in the market, right? Or they waited for a period of time before the property is being sold.
Yes, so don't underestimate the value of a good first impression, as it affects the possibility of you getting a higher selling price at the end of the day. You don't want your buyer just tackling you for a negotiation just for a damaged, ugly walls, right?
Yep, consult with your property agent and get them to help you look over your home. An unbiased eye will help you see the flaws and that will may have you otherwise missed. And property agents are experienced enough to know exactly what to look out for. The fourth step would be finally advertising your property with the nice photo you will have of your property. Whether your photos are taken by your property agents or you yourself, your agents can then begin the task of advertising it through both traditional and digital channels, such as hanging banners, advertising it on property portals, or even promoting to their colleagues if they have any ready buyers.
Ultimately, you need to let people know that your property is for sale, so advertise it even to your family and friends. You will want to include the details of the property, such as property type, built-up area, land area, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, land title, and tenure, and etc. If your property is a high-rise, then you could include the facilities of the building, parking lots included, and everything that you have, other relevant information. As we mentioned just now, if you don't want to go through the hassle of having to deal with so many other calls or random agents or unqualified buyers even, get a property agent to do the job. So the market's professional fee for a property agent will be 3% based on the selling price. So we'll help you to do everything from the start.
The fifth step would be preparing for the viewings. When you first market the property, no doubt that there will be people coming to view your property, which is a bit of hassle because you have to arrange accordingly to your availability and their availability. So having a property agent to advertise then arrange the viewings is one of the best way to do, as it's their professionality, right?
Yes, exactly. So some owners do like to be there while the viewing is going on, but sometimes they can be a little bit pushy, like buy the property as well, so causing the buyer to not like that. So let the buyer freely explore the house. Now, after several viewings with clients, you finally found a potential buyer who seems genuinely interested to purchase your property. So congratulations on that.
Yep, your buyer will most likely want to negotiate on the price with you. This will depending on the several factors such as your asking price, the market condition, how urgent are you to sell the property. Your agent will be able to give you some advice on how to conduct these negotiations effectively.
What we like to do is understand the seller beforehand, knowing their benchmark of what they want to get from the sale. So while setting the price and also negotiating with the buyer, the seller's price will not be pressed down to rock bottom. Here, both parties can reach a mutual agreement. So happy buyer, happy seller, happy agent.
Yep, negotiation not only about the price, it can be on the condition of the home as well. Let's say they are not satisfied because there is no balcony. Well, your agent will use their experience to tackle this question, right? So let's say, do you smoke? Do you plant? Or any other thing? Would you want to spend extra time cleaning the balcony when you're not even using it? So and ended up in being a bird nest even.
Yes.
So this tackling negotiation skill will help you close the deal faster even.
After the negotiation, say both of you agree to a price, you will now have to ask your buyer to pay an earnest deposit, which is generally about 2 to 3% of the property price, and also sign the letter of offer to purchase or maybe an agreement to purchase, which will include information such as the legal names of the buyer and the seller, legal address of the property, the price that has been agreed on, deposit amount, the date before which the SPA must be signed, and also other relevant information. After that, your buyer will go to apply for a bank loan.
Once your client signs a bank letter offer, your lawyer will then proceed with preparing the SMP, the sales and purchase agreement, for your buyer to sign. This usually done within 2 to 3 weeks time after the letter offer is signed.
So upon the signing of the sales and purchase agreement, your SPA by the buyer, they will pay the remaining 7 to 8% of the down payment. Then the SPA will be stamped. The document will be sent to you for implementation and will be then stamped. Okay, so all of this must be done within 14 days of the signing of the bank's letter of offer.
Standard terms for any S&P stated that the remaining 90% will be paid to you within 3 months from the date that the S&P is signed and also stamped, thus when the buyer's loan is being disbursed. Do keep in mind that this time period can vary as well based on the factors such as the agreement, the type of property, and who you deal with.
Congratulations, you have finally sold out your property. This is where the last step comes that a lot of sellers tend to forget, which is having to settle the real property gain tax (RPGT). If you are disposing of your first residential property, you will be given a once-in-a-lifetime exemption of paying the RPGT. Nevertheless, if this is not your first property, you will have to pay the RPGT according to this table.
Just remember that this is a basic guide and always be prepared for any unforeseen circumstances. Set aside some budgets for an agent and also lawyers to guide you through, especially if this is your first time selling your property.
If you still don't know what is RPGT or just generally looking for any other property related videos, check out the video right here and we've linked it down in the description down below just in case you've missed it. And we will see you on the other side.
Ciao!